Hey, it's Thursday night. It's time for another episode of Thrifty Business. What is happening, everybody? I'm your one host, Vegas J. Hello. And with me tonight for the first time solo as a co-host.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my gosh, is my good friend, Kim Gordon. How are you, Kim?
I'm good. How are you?
I am dandy. All right, before we talk about our guests, let's get right into it because, as always, time for Jay's Tiki Talk, where each week I try to match my rum and my mug to the guest. And this one took a little creativity, but I nailed it. So I usually don't show the guest artwork till the guest is officially coming on in about half an hour, but I wanted to point out something. This is John Miller. John's our guest tonight. He took a picture holding some postcards, and in the lower corner, which is a little tough to see with our heads in the way, oh no, you can see it, is a Trader Dick's postcard, which is a tiki place. So I pulled out a Trader Dick's tiki mug. And John, how are you, sir?
Good, you?
I am dandy. Now, this is normally a question I would save for the actual interview, but approximately how much money do you do a week in postcards?
About $1,000 or so, give or take.
Okay, so I'm looking around my house. I have no rums with postcards on them. John Miller is about as common as Jason Smith, so that wasn't helping at all. And then I found my Kilo Kai rum. So kilo means 1,000. So there we go. 1,000 rum for $1,000. Come on now, give me credit for that one.
That was good. No, that was good.
I'd be creative with this one.
The way you presented it.
You like that?
Let me show you this.
But keep your eyes peeled for old Trader Dick's mugs. They did sell quite a ton of them, but they come in a variety of sizes. I have this mug in 3 different sizes. So when you find the different sizes, they're good to sell because not everyone realizes there's multiple sizes. And if you happen to find them, multiple sizes together, you can group them and really get a good sale. So keep your eyes open for Trader Dick's. All right, John, I want to put you in timeout. Enjoy the show. We'll see you about half hour.
Sounds good.
All right, buddy. Okay, I think he's in timeout. All right, cool.
Okay.
All right, let's get right to. Oh, hey, what are you drinking tonight before we get right to it?
Look. I have a very special cup. See?
Nice. Den of Sin. I like that.
Iced tea.
But that's the original Den of Sin glass. Do you have both?
I do have both. This is the original one, though. I know. This is
very nice.
The old classic one.
Very
nice.
Iced tea. All right, now it's time for our scores of the week, where Kim and I will show you the cool stuff we sold. Typically, these things are what we call bolos. Be on the lookout. Things you should be hunting for in the thrift store. And ladies first.
Okay. Let me see what you brought up first.
Yeah, so make sure you click on the picture and then you can see them.
Yeah, it's the gown, right? Is that what I'm looking at? Okay. This was a gown. Actually, I found it with you, Jason, at the Goodwill by my house. And it was a B. Altman gown, and the Merle Oberon was an old actress. Got it for $4.99 and turned around and sold it for $120.
Very nice.
It really was very pretty. This I got at Savers with you just recently, and it's in tooled leather. Paid $4.99, sold it for $65.
That's a cool
purse, isn't it? Oh, this one I have to give credit to Lee because he was out.
And who is Lee?
Lee's my husband. Okay. And he went out while we were in Kansas City, Missouri, and he found this old Stein for $8. And within 2 days, it sold for $80. I think he took best offer.
That is a quick turnaround. That is a nice quick turnaround on a Stein. That is excellent.
It was a limited edition. I think there was only like 528 made. So, but it went quick.
That's kind of a weird number, 528.
I know. But it went quick. This is an Anthropologie skirt. They still sell really well, Edme and Isolite. And this one I paid $3.99 for.
Jeez.
And turned around and sold it for $70. So it was good. It was a good size too, though. It wasn't, normally I find a lot of the Anthropologie in like 2s or 4s. So this was a 12. So good size, and it went pretty quick.
Excellent. All right. So you would think maybe we're still on Kim's. Nope, this is mine. I sell purses too. So this was an Isabella Fiore purse. If you don't know Isabella Fiore, it should be on your list of to always look out for. Her purses sell quite well. This is one of her painted leather purses. There was actually some damage on the paint, and we pointed it out, but got a quick $40. And it was selling for about, this one was made a lot of, and it was only selling for about $35, $40. And even with damage, I got a quick 40. So I was very happy. I paid $7 for it. I usually show my CD scores on Amazon, but I also sell them on eBay. So this is Skillet and Leroy featuring LaWanda Page. And sold. I picked this up for $4.99 and sold it for $35 this week on eBay.
That's good.
And I too sell dresses. And so this is a dress from the Enchanted Tiki Room at Disneyland. This was a replica of the host dress that came out about 10 years ago. And sold it for $149. This is a size small. And I just sold this today. Some Cleveland Flying Cats, just a single twin flat sheet. I sold for $30 plus shipping.
That's great. Hey, you know what? You even had tattoo spelled wrong on your first listing.
On the purse?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, that would be an assistant had tattoo spelled wrong, not me.
Well, just missing. I shouldn't say spelled wrong. Just missing a T.
Yeah, well, I'll be having a little chat with her tomorrow morning. Thanks for pointing that out, Cam. Or whoever pointed it out.
Oh, it was me.
Good job.
I mean, unless somebody else said something, but no.
But yeah, so keep your eyes peeled in the sheet section. This is just a single twin flat sheet, $30. I think I paid $3.99 for it. So decent money. Now, not everything can be scored. Sometimes we have duds of the week too, brought to you by WorthPoint. Had we used WorthPoint, we probably wouldn't have picked up these duds. Not everything is a winner. Do not let our mistakes be yours.
All I can say is, we got this resume paper. We got a lot of it in a box, and it was really inexpensive. I couldn't get rid of it. I could have probably set it on my curb, and they would have continued to walk past it. It was one of those that you just go, how come nobody's buying this? I mean, this is nice resume paper. I finally was just, I put it up higher, lower, $8.40. I was so excited that somebody even offered me money, like $8.40. I was like, woo, take it. So never doing that again. We're not doing resume paper. And this one I thought was so great. It's by the same maker that the barfing and pooping panda bear. And their shirts always sell. And I thought this was very cool. Could not sell it. At $16, I lowered it and raised it. And finally it sold for $16. So not good.
What'd you pay for it?
Well, I paid $1.99. That's as much as I paid. So it's not bad. But I mean, the other ones by the same maker, we're getting $28, $29, $30. And so this one I thought was even way cooler. But then it was an extra large too.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You just never know. All right. This is a new with tags Nike Air Jordan Jumpman backpack. And I thought it was super cool. And apparently no one did, because when someone offered me $15 yesterday, I jumped at it because I've had it for over a year. Over a year. I mean, not every Jordan thing sells, but it was a cool backpack. It was new with tags, and no one ever even made an offer. So I don't care if this guy was just trying to lowball me and he was going to go higher. I took it as quick as possible. Good eye. And then I wanted to show you that not all my CD sales are winners. I sold this little Troy sitting fat down south for $3.99. Both my assistant and my friend who was here helping me with my books for my taxes said, what the hell are you selling $4 CDs for? And I said, I don't know. I have no idea why I bothered listing a $3.99 CD. I only paid $1, but still, that's the one that's going to get me a negative feedback. It's going to happen. That's what happens when you sell little cheap chintzy things. All right. You've seen our scores. You've seen our duds. Now, where in the world did our shit go? So we like to profile when we sell things internationally, because if you only sell domestically, you're only selling to about 330 million potential customers. If you sell internationally, you are selling to 7.4 billion potential customers. And we've always sold internationally, me and all my co-hosts, and Kim's no exception. And this week, though, both of our cities are going to be a little tricky. All right, Kim, you're up first. So what'd you sell and where'd you sell it?
Okay, I sold this vintage World War II kind of a Hawaiian shirt. I sold it to Czech Republic. It's Slavkov Uberna.
There you go.
Woo!
Someone in this little town, and let me tell you, I looked it
Tiny.
up. It's tiny. Someone needed a World War II plain Hawaiian shirt in Slavkov Uberna.
Slavkov Uberna.
And then mine is a little nuttier. Mine's kind of like a thrifty encounter together with Where in the World Did Our Stuff Go? So the tiki mug on the left got shipped out to Lomar, Germany, which is a little burg. And the box it comes in, I take it out of and then I rewrap it with bubble and I put it in a bigger box of peanuts. And the box it came in, it was sitting on the desk and I pushed it across to my assistant. I said, hey, throw this away. And as I'm pushing it, cha-ching, and I look at my phone, I sold another Frankie's Tiki mug to Germany in the same day. And I said, hey, is this going to the same customer? Nope. This one's going to Schonefeld, Grobenstein, or something like that, right outside of Berlin. But in the same morning, 2 different Frankie's mugs going to 2 different places in Germany. You should always, always sell internationally. All right, now it's time for our Thrifty Tips of the Week. This segment is brought to you by Stamps.com. Postage on demand. Print your own postage and shipping labels in seconds right from your home with your own printer. And I use stamps all the time.
Okay, I'm up. When you're going out shopping for vintage clothes, there's a few things to look for to make sure that it is vintage. One of them is their care tags. Care tags were not placed on any clothes before 1972. And in 1972, until present, the government required them. So unless they've been cut off, if they do not have care tags or you don't see where they were, then it's pre-1972. So look for that when you're looking for vintage clothing. And then the seams, it's a serger. It's a serge seam, and it was really uncommon before mid-60s. And in the mid-60s, they bought the big serging machines, and the factories would run them through to make the ends or the hems nice. So if you see an unserged piece of hemline, chances are it could be, and it is looking vintage, then it could possibly be.
And I knew about the care tags, but I did not know about the serge seam. So that's something I learned when we were prepping the show. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Something new in my repertoire.
Yay.
All right. So my thrifty tip is to not be afraid of prices. You know, look, we all love to find things like my mother does for a nickel and a quarter. But would any of you pick up this CD for $15? I would, and I've sold it many times. It is not a quick seller, but it was probably up for 4 months maybe, and it just sold this week for $69.79. So I spent $15 on the CD and flipped it for $70. So when you're out thrifting, do not be afraid. If you know your stuff, do not be afraid of a higher priced item. $15 does not scare me when I can flip it for $70. It is time for You Have Got to Be Shipping Me, where Kim and I will share our shipping tips and tricks, what to do and what not to do when shipping products. So, Kim, I'm not going to show your picture just yet. I'm going to let you start talking because Kim has a very special shipping tip.
Yes. I really think that to get things efficiently shipped, that everyone should but it should be mandatory to have something like this in the shipping department area. I don't ship actually, so I have I know how to ship. I could figure it out if I had to, but my husband Lee is the shipper. So today I said, you have to stand outside. I'm putting eBay tape on you, and you're the shipping tip to hire somebody else to do it. He's like, oh, okay, Kim.
Yeah, when I asked her to give her shipping tip, she's like, I don't ship. It's like asking my mom for a shipping tip. She don't ship either.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
All right, so I got 2 tiki mugs in the mail last week, and they really did a good job. So about halfway through opening them, I stopped because I'm like, I'll just save it for the show. Something I've never shown. I don't do it too often, but you can people, if you ever heard the term double boxing it, you basically put your breakables in a box and then put it in another box, and inside that box you're surrounded with like padding material. So that's what they did. So here's the box it came in. They did write fragile quite a bit. You don't need to do that. You should be able to pack it, not to worry about that. But as you can see, inside of it was another box with the mugs inside of it. And they did a real nice job of building this nice cushioned area for these two mugs, which they did such a good job. This box by itself would have been fine. They definitely went above and beyond. That's not a bad thing necessarily, but you don't have to. But if you ever really want to, this is a good representation of how to do a box.
Not many people are as brave as you. Not many people just go, okay, I'm just going to wrap it and, put it in, FOMO it and stick it in a bag. I mean.
Yep. And those mugs I bought to flip. So now that I've shown you, I'm going to get them listed and make a lot of money because someone sold them way too cheap. And you'll see that on a forthcoming eBay tip. Speaking of eBay tips. Time for our eBay tips of the week. Little tips and tricks that Kim and I will give you that should help you in your eBay sales.
I get a lot of sunglasses, and they have mirrored lens, and they are so hard to take pictures of. It actually reflects anything, of course. So I decided to turn my mannequin a little to the side so you wouldn't see as much of everything else. And it seemed to work. I could still see a little bit, but not as much. They're just terribly hard to photograph. Even if they're inside a light box, they still reflect something. So if you're doing glasses and you can see a reflection in them, turn them a little bit to an angle and see if that works better.
And that's a pretty hot mannequin head. I just have the very plain ones. Looking at this today, I'm like, I think I need to go buy a better mannequin head when I do like hats and glasses.
She's bald, so I was like, oh, she doesn't look so good in glasses and gold. So let me put a scarf on her head.
There you go. But yeah, that's a great tip. Angle your mirrored stuff away. You're still going to see something, but
not as much.
As long as it's not you. All right, look. I've told you this before. I teased it in the live video today. If you don't believe me now, if you didn't believe me before, believe me now. These are all the things I sold in a 48-hour period. Now, mind you, it was March 13th when this started. So on March 13th, someone woke up and said, I need a Gary Morris Every Christmas CD. And then soon after, on March 13th, a different person said, man, I need a Spike Jones Christmas CD. And then today, someone said, I need the Four Seasons Christmas album. And then someone messaged me and said, I had this originally as a Halloween costume. We all know Easter's around the corner. So I sold the Halloween costume because obviously some little kid's going to be a bunny for the family,
the family picnic, yeah.
But then on the same day I sold this costume, I sold this little girl's Doc McStuffins costume. So I sold 2 Halloween costumes and 3 Christmas CDs, all in about 48 hours. So obviously the tip is to change your oil every 3,000 miles. Oh, no, that's a different show. Obviously the tip is to list and sell your holiday products all year long. Because who is thinking they need Christmas CDs this week? I wouldn't be thinking that.
No. The costumes I can understand because I know there's little spring shows that schools put on, Easter with the bunny. I don't know, maybe somebody's going to be a doctor in their school play or something. So we needed the Doc with stuff. But the Christmas, I wouldn't wake up in March going, really need to go get that Christmas CD that I've been wanting.
I know. And to have 3 this week, it really even surprised me. I sell them all year, but man, to have 3 in 48 hours was... well, my mom said she would think about Christmas because she got 22 inches of snow last week. So,
yeah, you know what? Maybe that's it. See,
I did not pay attention to where those CDs went, but you and I, living in LA and Vegas, we aren't thinking of snow and winter and stuff. 22 inches.
Yeesh.
That is crap. Yeah. All right. So our last segment is the good, the rad, and the ugly, because we all know ugly sells, and I've always told you, and so much so that you should have ugly in the title when you sell some of these ugly things, because people see it as a sense of pride, not a sense of, ugh, that's ugly. They're like, yeah, that's ugly. And so Kim's thing, we're not even exactly sure what it is.
I'm not. Yeah, I have no clue what it is, but it's ugly. It is a clay heart that have worms and bugs, and it comes apart. So the heart, it's like a heart box, but you can't really put anything in it because there's so many holes, and it's not really deep enough. And then on the underside, it says, "I love glass." So I have no clue what this was made for. I just knew it was kind of ugly with all the bugs crawling through the holes and the worms. So that's my ugly. And it's really a putrid color too.
And apparently your cat agrees with you.
And she does. She does. I'm going to let her out.
She's like, that's ugly too. All right. Mine's here in my hand, and I'll tell you why.
See, she snuck in here. Obviously, she just woke up. She crawled out from underneath the bed and going, meow, meow. And she's like, oh, let me out for dinner now.
Yeah. So this is a shirt I picked up.
Uh-huh.
I would definitely say this is on the ugly side.
Yeah.
And
looks
the
like
brand,
a sheep.
yeah, the brand is not great, but here is the reason I picked it up, because you don't see this size too often, and we all know that big sizes sell because there's not a lot of options, and the bigger you get in both men and women's clothing, the options are pretty limited. This is an 8X.
Holy crap.
Yep. So
8X?
Yep. So if you're an 8X watching this show and
wow.
you don't find this ugly, or you find ugly and you want to rock it, I got it for sale. But and the brand is King Size. King Size is a catalog brand that makes big boys clothes. And it's not great nor bad, just kind of middle of the road clothing. But hey, when you find anything 8X, it's just not common. Just like with big bras, when you find letters M's and N's, you can't walk into a store and buy an N bra, or you can't walk into the store and buy an 8X shirt. So,
and you can't really walk in and buy that beautiful bug crawly thing either.
Oh, very true.
So,
very, very true.
A masterpiece. So,
there was a store near, I used to live in Ohio. There was a store near Cedar Point. And when I had my job of selling uniforms, traveling by the store, because I was always a big guy, but I was always in the 2X, 3X range, and they stocked normally up to 10X. So everything they had, they would stock it up to 10X. And that was the only store I ever seen that big on a consistent basis. So
that's huge.
Yep, that's a lot.
It's a lot of material.
That's a man that makes me feel dainty, and I don't feel dainty all that often. All right, let's do a little bit of housekeeping before we get our guest in here. So the first bit. There we go. Hey, Mom and I are finally back this week. We are back on March 13th. March 17th. I don't know why I said 13th. Weird. March 17th, which is this Sunday, 3 p.m. on the East Coast, noon on the West Coast. And what do you do when you're 75 and retired and you spend most of your day watching two little grandkids, running an eBay business, traveling the country with your girlfriends? Do you relax? Hell no. You start a meetup group like my mom did. So Mom is going to give us the tips and tricks to starting the meetup group. And I got to say, Kim, for all the stuff my mom has done, that I'm very proud of her for all the things, at 75 to want to start a meetup group, and it is going well. It is going well.
Your mom rocks. She's great.
She is excellent. And, they got good turnout. She figured out real quick how to structure it, and they've got great they're at a tiki bar. I'm like, this is just like, could it be any
better? Really? That's awesome. Yeah, she's great. I mean, your mom she has more energy than I do. I mean, she could out dance us. So.
Oh yeah. So she will give us the trials and tribulations of starting it, because I'm sure there were some hiccups. But we're going to be back on this Sunday because I was gone last week, and unfortunately I'm gone next week, but we are going to do Thrifty Business next Wednesday. So mark your calendar, because I'll be in Dallas next Thursday. Don't have the guest yet. We're working on it, but Debbie Weeder is going to be my special co-host. Debbie's in the chat right now. Hi, Debbie.
Hi, Debbie.
Debbie helps me produce the show. And so make sure to mark your calendar for next Wednesday, typical time, 9 p.m. East Coast, 6 p.m. West Coast. And for those of you in the secret beach, it is time for our purse homework. Kim Kim did the most recent guest webinar in the Secret Beach, all about collectible purses. And so those of you who are in the Secret Beach know you've had to turn in your purse homework. So we'll be doing our live video, Kim and I, at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon West Coast on this Saturday, and grading your purse homework. Speaking of the Secret Beach, John has so much information he wants to give about postcards. Besides the show tonight, he's doing a 2-part guest webinar for the Secret Beach. So he'll be the guest in this month of March. He has 1 hour on all the bolos you should be looking out for, and then 1 hour on how to photograph it, how to list it, how to ship it, all the working parts. So
that's so great.
And John's such a great guy that he just loves, giving information freely to help others. So, and if you're not in the Secret Beach and if you want to join, I'm going to have a webinar coming up at the end of this month, and the Secret Beach will be open again for new beachcombers. So stay tuned. All that will be everywhere. It'll be in the thrifting board, Thrifty business page, everywhere that I'm around. You will see all the links. So, and then last but not least, let me get into character. Yeah, I'm heading to Dallas next week, and I'm teaching some classes. Howdy, Tex. Howdy, ma'am.
You look like no. You're heading to Dallas, looking like Austin.
I know. I was told I look like Austin, not Dallas. So
I still want to know what that means.
So for those who don't know, or if you're in the Dallas area, I teach a couple different classes, and now I'm starting to tour the country and combine them. I teach an in a thrift store class where we're going section to section, teaching you what to buy, and more importantly, what not to buy, what to skip. And then I do like a 4.5-hour classroom class where we go A to Z, soup to nuts. We talk about things you should be looking for. Then once you get it home, successful photography tips, and then quality listing tips. And then once you sell it, how to ship it, and go over all the different boxes, explain the difference between regional and flat rate and what the shoe box is for and all that good stuff, how to FOMO. And then we also talk about how to use social media to sell your products. And you just visit the website, www.classwithjason.com. We have the Friday thrift class sold out immediately. And so I decided to stay a couple extra days, and I added a Monday thrift class. We got a couple spots left, and there's about 8 spots left on the classroom class for Saturday.
I have to say, I loved that class. Now, I know I was helping you, but I got to be in there. And so to listen to what you were doing and teaching, I learned so much. And I hang out with you. So, for me to still be learning a lot of new tips and tricks, it was great. Definitely an awesome class to take.
Oh, why, thank you. And someone's asking if I have a large belt buckle, and I do. And I wasn't thinking about it, but I will wear a large belt buckle too. I have my uncle's old cowboy belt buckles, and I hadn't thought about it till now. So I'm writing myself a note, and I'm going to be wearing my uncle's cowboy belt buckles.
Get her up. That'll be great.
Yeah. So look, these classes are good. You will get your money's worth for sure.
Definitely.
You must, if you're going to do this job, I don't care if you've been doing it for 1 year or 15 years, there's always stuff to learn, and you must keep your eye on the prize, because you never know when you're going to learn something new. Because I can't tell you, Kim, how many times people have been doing this forever go, man, I learned a lot of new stuff.
I know. I was blown away by the class.
And when we were in, Kim and I were just in Kansas, and I spoke at the Reseller Fam Live event, and some of the sellers in the audience were not eBayers. They were more, or some were eBayers, but they're more like arbitrage or buying things at wholesale. But after my thrift store speech, a lot of people who don't normally go wonder about the thrift store like we do are like, man, I want to go now. So if you're in the Dallas area, if you have anyone that's an eBayer, a thrifter, please let them know, www.classwithjason.com. And we got a couple slots left. Love to have a full class. We had a sellout in Kansas City. I had a sellout in Atlanta. And then those of you in the St. Louis area, that is coming very soon. Those dates will be announced within the next probably 2 to 3 days. So,
yay.
So that's it. That's our housekeeping. We're right at 6:30. So let me switch from that to this, and we'll get our guest in here. How's that sound? That sound like a plan?
Great. Yes.
Boom. There it is. All right, cool. Let's get our guest in here. Uh-oh.
What happened? Oh, no.
Well, I think I turned this camera on.
Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Okay, where did I go?
I hear you, but I do
wait
not
there.
see you.
I think
Oh,
I got
okay. All right, there we go. All right, sorry about that. All right, so let's do it officially now. Okay, here we go. Hey, everybody, it is John Miller talking to us about postcards. Hey, John, how are you, sir?
Good. How you doing?
Hi, John.
Hi.
Oh, we are great. This is one of those things where, man, I've looked at postcards and I just like, I can't imagine there's consistent money in it until you start hanging around and saying, oh, hey, there's consistent money in this.
Yeah, and I just checked. I'm actually averaging about 1,200 a week. So I don't know if you have a 1,200 rum.
Well, hang on. Let me see if I can put kilo plus 200 milliliter. Don't ruin it, John. Don't ruin it.
Your postcards are so amazing. I just bought one from you.
Oh, did you? Well, thank you.
The Beverly Hills Hotel pool.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you very much.
Well, tell him why, Kim.
Well, because when I was a little girl, I used to go swimming in it. And
That's perfect.
it doesn't look like that now anymore. So when I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, that's what it looked like when I was young.
Yeah.
And then the UCLA one I'm getting because I'm shocked there's green space between buildings overlooking Westwood. I mean, I was born and raised here, so
Okay.
I definitely is an emotional buy. It's like, oh, that's what I used to look like.
And I think that's why people spend so much money on these postcards is that place doesn't exist. It doesn't look like that anymore. And they're
Right.
They're trying to buy back some memories.
Yeah.
And they're willing to pay for it.
Absolutely. I'm one now.
All right. So before we move on, I realize I've screwed up a couple things because I was looking at Debbie's messages to me. Mom and I show is on March 18th, not 17th. Whoops. You and I are doing homework on the 17th, which is right? Saturday. Mom and I are on Sunday, the 18th. Same time, though.
Okay.
But Sunday, the 18th, Mom and I will be back. My bad on that. And someone also said, can we still post our purse finds? So if you're in the Secret Beach, yep, you can post your purse finds up until Saturday morning. We are going to go over them tomorrow. Kim and I are going to kind of work them through to get some idea what we're looking at. So if you're doing the purses, if you can get up by tomorrow, that'd probably be beneficial. Okay, back to postcards. Sorry about my mistakes, everybody. So sorry. All right, so you have, sir, a real job still, correct?
Yes, I do.
And so this is your mad money, your fun money, or your part-time?
Fun money and a hobby that keeps me sane, keeps the stress of my real job at that real job, and just kind of this is how I relax. Couple hours a night. Some nights it only might be a half an hour just to pack up what's sold, and more on the weekend. But yeah, I can't wait. I had my my little countdown clock. About how many days till I can do this full time, and I can't wait. Can't wait.
The countdown to retirement.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah. Right now, I have about a little over 18,000 cards in my store, and by the time I retire, I hope to have that about 25. And then my goal within that first year of doing it full time, I'm hoping to get 40 to 50,000 cards.
Wow.
That's a lot. It's a big store.
It is. And I might be in the top 20 of postcard sellers on eBay. One of the bigger ones has about 77,000 postcards, and she makes $1,000 a day.
Okay. Yeah. I definitely am selling the wrong thing.
So hers is I drink this every day.
Yes.
Not once a week.
On a bad day. Yeah.
So of course, you didn't start in postcards. Why don't you walk us back, sir? Where, if you don't mind sharing, where do you live, and what brought you to eBay, really?
Sure. Well, I grew up in an extremely small town in west central Pennsylvania. I was in the Navy 3 days after I graduated high school, and I'm thinking, land base in Hawaii, land base on the East Coast. No, they sent me to a ship in Yokosuka, Japan, an aircraft carrier. And I served 2.5 years on the aircraft carrier, and spent some leave back home with my brother at college. Decided college is where I wanted to go. Came back, college, joined a fraternity. And because of my Navy experience, I came up with the nickname Popeye. So I started collecting Popeye collectibles. And you might be able to see some back behind me. I had several hundred Popeye collectibles in a 2-bedroom apartment, and 1 bedroom was all taken up with Popeye stuff. And I joined eBay in January of '98 just to buy Popeye stuff. And my then girlfriend, now wife, moved in with me, and I figured it's time to grow up and sell my Popeye toys. So sold them all on eBay and made more money than I spent on them. And when I ran out of Popeye stuff, I was like, okay, what am I going to sell next? Because I really got addicted to selling stuff on eBay back in the old Wild West days. So I started going to auctions, buying box lots of junk, pottery, glassware, stuff like that. And one day I came across a stack of postcards, and they all sold. It was back when you do, I think it was just all auctions back then.
Oh yeah.
They all sold. I think I maybe had pennies in these cards, and they only sold for $7-8, but they all sold. And they shipped so easy. They just shipped in these little cardboard mailers, and I didn't have to do bubble wrap. I didn't have to worry about breakage or returns. And it just snowballed from there, that I was like, wow, these are so easy. I could show you my current active inventory, all 19,500 with duplicates and stuff like that. It's all right here within easy reach. So I just got into postcards full time, opened up a store about 6 years ago, Anchor Store. And I'm married, one child, and I've been in community corrections for about 25 years now. And like I said, I can't wait to leave that world behind and make this my full-time job.
Wow.
Any pets?
My wife has a French bulldog, and I just live here in the house with it.
That's great. It allows you to live there with them.
Yeah.
It does.
Uh-huh.
It does.
I was hoping you were gonna say, and when I met my girlfriend, she collected olive oil stuff. That would have been like, drop the mic, we're
out.
So that's crazy, because you were just trying to buy things, so you could have landed on a much more complicated thing to ship and to store, and you just lucked out. And I think CDs are easy, and they're small, and you can alphabetize them, but man,
Postcards are great.
Yeah.
You win. I mean, it's got to be the smallest, easiest to store thing.
Yeah, I would think maybe postage stamps might, and maybe baseball cards might have me beat, but yeah, they're easy to ship. I think I'm close to 250,000 cards in this office right here. So you want to talk about death piles?
Wow.
It's all right around me here.
Yeah, but your death pile fits in a space about that big, right?
Yeah. Do you want to see active inventory? And
yeah, let's give us a little tour of the office.
Okay. So this right here, this is my active inventory right there. That's about 19,000 cards right there, and they're all in these tabs. That's my new way of inventory compared to my old way of inventorying with city and state. And then just all around my office, each box holds about 700 postcards, and it goes the whole way down there. And then back behind me, that's how I sort my postcards when I'm getting ready to take pictures. More postcards there, and then all that postcards right there. And I got
Debbie's reminding me, they are not death piles, they are profit
piles.
Right. Oh, it's all money. I look around, and it's money in here. I just got to get off my butt and list them all.
That is a lot of postcards.
Yeah. If we ever have a zombie apocalypse, I can heat my house for like a year just on boxes of postcards, lighting them on fire.
Oh my goodness.
So the one thing has nothing to do with the postcards. I wonder why your camera is backwards.
Is it mirrored? I don't know. Is it?
Yeah, because the letters on your separate, your things are all backwards. And when you showed your clock, and I'm like, someone asked in the chat, am I seeing things backwards?
It's I could try something real quick.
It's no big deal, but I was just like, usually the camera automatically flips. That's why I'm like, that's so weird.
Yeah, I had it. I thought I had it fixed earlier, but I guess I don't.
It's all right. It was just, I've never seen that hat. You're the first guest that shit's backwards.
Yeah, I got everything backwards.
John.
Yes.
I want you to talk about what you give back or pay it forward to. Don't you do something with lunches or?
Yeah, it's nothing really with my my eBay business. Although my fund money from eBay helps
Mhm.
me do what I do. I put on a huge yard display at Halloween, and for the past couple years, we've collected money and certain food items for a cause called Blessings in a Backpack. And what that is some less fortunate children, their only meal, their only food is their school lunch. So what Blessings does is they collect, yeah, to prepare food, um, and they send home bags of food with the kids, so they have a meal. And then when there's like a bad storm coming, feet of snow, they go into a little extra overdrive and send home some extra food. So we collected food and money for both. I have a little zombie head at the edge of my display that says "Feed me brains," and brains is crossed out. Money for Blessings in a Backpack, and people can put
That's so
donations
great.
in there.
Yay.
So yeah, we get about 700 or so kids, and I go above and beyond to give them a great treat. This year was those little fidget spinners,
Uh-huh.
but these ones lit up LED, and it was a huge hit. They actually bus kids in from other places here, and my neighbors hate it because they have to buy all this candy, and
Oh, well,
I
it's
love
okay.
it. Yeah.
It's once a year. Come on.
John, put me down for $100 for this year.
Okay, well, thank you, Jason.
Yeah, poke me when we get at Halloween time there, and I'll definitely start the coffers going.
Okay, well, appreciate that.
Great.
Well, appreciate it. And $100 pretty much feeds a child for a whole school year.
$100.
$100 feeds them, and that's a bag of food. It's like soups and granola bars, just easy stuff that they can prepare.
Right. I think that's so great.
Yeah,
and I want to see pictures of the display too.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Actually, just give us your address. We'll show up.
We're all going to John's house. We're going to steal some postcards and hang out at Halloween.
Let's go.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I really enjoy Halloween, and it's actually, to segue back to postcards, it's one of the really, I sell all these postcards, but Halloween is one of the few I collect, and it's not vintage Halloween. I collect modern Halloween cards. There's an artist in Virginia who just does these kick-ass
Cool.
postcards, and he puts little hand-drawn.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's great.
Wow, that's badass.
This one I think is terrific.
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
And this is one of my favorite ones recently I bought. So that's one of the few things of postcards that I collect. And he's just
those are great.
a fabulous artist. So I'll collect them and hold on to them for a year or two, and then I pass them along to others. But yeah, that's one of the few postcards that in my hometown. I collect my hometown and where I live now.
See, I didn't realize there were postcards for everything. When I was going through your store, I was shocked. It's not like, oh, I've been to Disneyland, let me write one, or I've been to Colorado. I mean, there's postcards for everything out there.
If it exists, it's on a postcard.
It's crazy.
And it's probably one of the best crossover collectibles. And I think why it sells so well. If postcard collecting worldwide is the #3 top collecting hobby behind stamps and coins. In the United States, it's #4 because now you throw in sports cards, which is a uniquely American thing. But there's postcards on coin collecting. There's postcards on stamp collecting. There's even postcards about postcards. So it's a very and tiki.
I'll say, is Tiki Mug top 10 in collecting there? What's going on?
Yeah, I don't think so. But
there's a postcard about it.
Tiki postcards are.
There you go.
Oh, heck yeah. Well, here, that's a good segue, but I do want to say a couple of the people in the chat would love to donate around Halloween time too. So let's remember, as soon as you get your yard set up, we'll post some great pictures of it.
Perfect.
And I'll link back to the show, and I'll get the ball rolling, and we'll help raise some money.
That would be terrific.
But I want to, since you brought up the Tiki, I wanted to show a postcard that, besides selling, like Kim bought the pool because that's where she swam when she was a kid.
Yeah.
But it's also used for research. So this is a bartender at the Kahiki in Columbus, which was a great tiki place, Columbus, Ohio. But what it shows us nerd collectors, is there's some mugs and stuff in this picture that are really hard to find. So not only would we like this to hang up as art in our house, we use it as a research and like a little checklist, because I only have one thing in this postcard. The rest are really tricky to find. And the one thing that's the trickiest to find, if you see the thing with the green face kind of in the middle now, it's actually a sleeve that the glass sits in, kind of like a wood sleeve. And those are just impossible to
so
find.
it's just plain regular glass, drinking glass that fits in there.
It's like a chimney glass.
Like a koozie.
And then there's a barrel to the right that I never see. I have the tiki to the left. And it's hard to see, but if you see the yellow drink right to the right of it, it's kind of like the signature Kihiki mug. And that one's really tricky. It's got 3 little tiki feet. So postcards help us nerd collectors, and I'm sure it's not just tiki, find things that they're looking for. Yeah, my mom's all drooling. I want that sleeve. All right, we got a lot of good questions, but let's show some of your scores first, and then we'll get to some of the questions, because you says, just so people are like fully understanding this. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to tell you, John, if maybe I did. If you click on the picture, you can see which one I'm showing. So if you click on the picture of the postcard, you'll see that this one postcard that had 7 bids, $94.
Yeah, Emory, Virginia. And actually, I don't know if I did my research on this card, so I was kind of shocked when this card sold. And it's a 1940s linen card, so it's really not all that old. And after this started getting bids, I started doing research, and I was like, oh man, these Emory, Virginia cards do really well. So I put that on my BOLO list. So I probably paid maybe a quarter or less. When I source postcards, I really try to keep it under a quarter. Obviously 8 to 10 cents is better. I will pay up to, probably about $1 for bulk, but it has to be something special. There has to be something that catches my eye that I know that, one card could bring in $94 and pay for everything plus.
Right.
That was a quarter card easily. Yeah.
This could be Mama Peggy's new thing here with his quarters.
No kidding.
That one. That's probably it's not my best selling card. My best selling card was a couple years ago, and $287 I think I sold that one for. But this one, I know I paid a quarter for this. I have a postcard guy who lets me come and dig through his postcards and cherry pick out what I want. He had a huge box of Disneyland postcards. And I've looked through millions of postcards, and so I see Disneyland all the time. And this one I'd never seen it before, and it's kind of a stupid view. It's of an
It is.
You wouldn't even know. I mean, it's not like unless you read the little banner at the top in the store.
Yeah, it's there's nothing real special about it in my view. But then I started doing research, and this card was on WorthPoint. And this is what it sells for. One hadn't been on for a while. So when I do a lot of auctions, I don't know if we talk about that, but I get 1,000 auctions a month as an anchor store. And damn it, I'm going to use up those 1,000 auctions. I'm going to, if it's not listed, it's not going to sell. So I'll list as much as I can at an auction. And I listed this, I think I started off at $199 because I knew it was a good card. And I think it was a good card because, well, it's a boring view. Who's going to buy this card? So Disneyland probably had a whole bunch of them and just threw them away because no one bought them. So I think that's why it turned out to be rare. So yeah, $220 on a quarter.
Wow.
And you said it's not a great shot. Like, it's a picture of trees without leaves. I mean, it's just a horrible.
Yeah.
There's nothing that you would go, this is great.
There are postcards right there. So maybe it was a Disneyland postcard, Disneyland collector and a postcard collector going on.
But just, that's kind of like a don't judge a book by the cover, because I would not look at this postcard and think, oh yeah, $200.
No.
And I think I remember seeing at least 1 or 2 more of those cards in that box, because I thought it was such a dumb view that I only took one of them.
Did you call him and tell him you're coming back? I mean, I would get him on the horn quick here.
Yeah, he lives a couple states away. I usually make a weekend of it, and I haven't.
I've been going up there.
Christmas cards. Everybody probably thinks that Santa should be red. red suited Santa, but some of the most valuable Santa postcards are tan, purple, blue, non-red coats, and that's just a cool view. I actually got him and this one here in a lot, and I think I probably paid about 30 cents per card in this postcard lot. So $30 up to $41.99. Usually what I do with my auctions is I start them at a price that if I only get that one bidder, I'm happy with it. So I probably started this in 34, 35 bucks, something like that. Didn't get any bidder. So I'll relist them as buy it nows, and I bump up the price by 25% or so. And then someone bought this, and they just bought this in February, so a couple of months after Christmas.
Wow.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter. You know,
it doesn't matter if it's used. I mean, if it's written on.
No, it does not matter.
There's no address, really.
Yeah, back then it was, you know, just the name and the town. It's amazing.
1907.
Yeah, even some of the foreign postcards that, you know, sent from Germany to the United States in, you know, 1900s, it's just Joe Blow in New York City, and it gets there.
That's crazy.
This is Magdalena, New Mexico, an air view of the town. These are the kind of cards I look for. This is a real photo postcard, also called an RPPC. I don't think this was a ghost town because it probably still has about 1,000 people, but it's probably one of those mining towns that had 20, 30,000 people. And over the years, obviously, when the whatever mine, silver, gold, dried up, you know, everybody left. So this one, I know it was probably in a quarter box, could be less. When I buy, like I said, I buy postcards, it could have been, you know, 8 cents a card. I think the best I've ever done was about 2 to 3 cents per card in a thousands and thousands of postcard lots. So yeah, only one bidder on this card, but $75.
Nice.
I think that's pretty good ROI.
Yeah.
And this is from the same town.
That's great.
I guess Magdalena is how you pronounce it. And actually I started this one at a lower price, probably $20, $30 is my starting price on this, and actually had 3 separate bidders, and it went up to $60. And this and the other card went to the exact same guy. So he sent me, I guess, PayPal for $130 some odd for those 2 cards.
Wow.
And I know I have, and I just found some the other day as I was sorting. I think I have on the back of the card, there's a number like 1718. And I think I have 1 through however many other cards. So I just got to find them. Hopefully I can find them somewhere in here. Yeah, this was kind of weird. This is just
oh my gosh, that's great.
That's the hat you need to go to Texas in. This is really just to show that it doesn't have to be old to sell. Looking at the cars, this is called a chrome postcard, and just judging on the cars on the right there, yeah, this is 1960s or so, and it's just neat. It's it's ice cold watermelon. It's a little tackle shop and island bonding agency, and the guy with the hat.
That's great.
So this, I don't know if it was someone buying just the view itself or someone from Grand Isle, Louisiana buying it, but this was it's probably less than a quarter for this card easily.
Wow.
Yeah, this one, New York, Buffalo. These are the type of cards. These were some of my favorite type of cards. The old 1950s, big fin, lots of chrome cards. Again, this is a chrome card. I had a lot of watchers on this card, probably about 10 watchers or so. And I kind of messed up. When you click on the windows, there's it says Lehigh Valley across the top of the windows. And that should have been one of my keywords, because I know I've sold Lehigh Valley postcards before, and there's a collector's market. So this probably went to a train.
I love reading it.
It's cool here. Had rain yesterday. We'll be home Saturday. Ethel.
Yeah, that's the Twitter of the 1960s and back.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. But still, a quarter card to $27. Really, really happy with that.
I would be. Oh, that's great.
Yeah. I always tell people that the beachy type of towns, even though you should really try to stay away from the touristy type of places, beach towns seem to do very well. And this is a cottage down in Virginia Beach, and it sold, I think this was $22 or something like this. But what was great about this score is I had two other ones just like it, exact same thing. Even though this one is written on, the other two I had also were written on. So I contacted the second and third buyers, and so the next one sold for $21.05, and the one after that sold for 20 something. So these cards cost me, again, probably less than a quarter. So 75 cents into what, 60 some dollars.
60, yeah. Not bad.
This is a dud. Just one, the atrocious green background. WTF was I thinking with this? It's horrible. It's just nasty green. And when the green throws off the color of this is before I went to scanning. I have a top load scanner that I use. I don't know what I was thinking with the green, but what also makes this a dud, these are the type of cards I always try to look for. It's a 1909 basketball team. The people are named on it. Normally this would be a pretty decent card. I think and it didn't cost me much. It probably cost me 50 cents because I bought a whole big album of postcards, and this was in it. So still, the thing is, I took a best offer at $10. But when I originally listed this card, it was probably a $60 or $70 is what I listed it at. And I just, over the last 2 years or so, maybe 3 years, I've just lowered the price and finally took $10. Yeah. And I should probably pay him just because I probably burned out his retinas with that green color there. That's atrocious.
So what does, one of the questions is, what does RPPC stand for?
A real photo postcard.
There you go.
And collectors look for RPPC. You could put real photo in the title. And this one, it's one, it didn't sell for much, but this is just to show you that just because it's old doesn't mean it's worth money. This is looks like a divided or undivided back postcard. So it's actually pre-1908. Graveyards usually do very well. It's one of the things on my bolos. But it's sad. Now this background's a little bit better than my other background, but it's still, I had it for, oh geez, that was probably 3 or 4 years easily. But still, even if I had it for 3 or 4 years listed on eBay and sold it for $1.99 with free shipping, I probably still made my money. I made my money back in probably 50, 60 cents on it. So
wow. Did you ever think there was so much to learn about postcards when you started?
No. And if you look at my knowledge about postcards, I kind of liken it to a college education. I've earned my bachelor's degree and I'm working on my master's.
That's great.
And there are people out there with their doctorate's degrees, and they're the ones who are writing books about this stuff and have been collecting for 40 years. I'm a neophyte compared to some of them, but I do know I have a pretty good idea of what's going to sell, and a really good idea with research, what I can expect out of it.
So we're at kind of top of the hour, but we want to give a couple things away, but I want to answer a few of the questions. And there are so many questions we could go on all night, but that's why this is going to be great in the Secret Beach.
Yes.
So if those of you in the Secret Beach, or if you've been thinking about joining the Secret Beach, if you don't know what the Secret Beach is my subscription-based group where every month I do a webinar on a topic. We have a guest webinar. So Kim was last month doing purses. John's going to be this month way deeper on postcards. Everything since we started 17 months ago is still there. There's bonus YouTube shows, how-to videos. We have parties and cruises around the world and do all kinds of fun stuff. So that's going to be opening soon. But I'm going to run through a couple quick questions. And then John is generous and wants to give some shit away. So
yeah,
where does one find this many postcards?
Pretty much anywhere. I do a lot of my sourcing on eBay itself. There's people who don't have the patience like me in listing, thousands of postcards at a time, and they just want to get rid of the crap. I love those people. You know, they take a couple pictures and I'm looking in there, I'm blowing it up and I'm looking, and you know, I research what they're showing on eBay. Postcard shows, terrific place to go. And you can just Google postcard shows and they're all over the place. And you can go, expect to be overwhelmed. When I go, I concentrate on cheap boxes, and then I have my BOLO list that I go and specifically look for. Raid grandma's attic. If you go to like a yard sale, ask them, hey, do you have postcards? Because people don't really know the value, and they're like, oh yeah, postcard, we just threw those away. And I just, you know, my mind's blown that there's so much money that could have gone in the trash. And that's what I have in my my PowerPoint for the Secret Beach. I go over stuff like that, you know, what people throw away. Auctions, live auctions, you can go to Craigslist, hook up with other postcard sellers, like where I got that quarter card from Disneyland. He's a postcard guy, and he didn't know that card was worth that much money. And so I got to cherry pick that out from under him.
And that
so
feels
next
good.
time I go, next time I go, I'll throw him a couple extra bucks. But that was a nice find. So you can find them anywhere, but you know, you gotta kind of know what sells and what doesn't sell. And you know, just like Jason and Tiki Sarah's, you know, smashing run away.
That's right.
In the postcard world, we have our own Sarahs, and this is one of the bigger offenders right here. I don't know if you can see, but that's Niagara Falls. You know, no one. You tear those up and throw them away.
I thought you were gonna do it.
But you know, the collector in me and the guy who sells stuff, you know, someone might pay me half a penny for that. So, you know, I'll keep them, but no one's going to buy 1,000 Niagara Falls postcards. But there's exceptions to every rule. If you have a real photo postcard of, you know, Hitler in a barrel going over the falls, yeah, that's a rare view and someone's going to buy that. But just made of the mist or whatever. And, you know, same thing with Washington, D.C. Everybody went to Washington, D.C. Everybody got a postcard of the White House. No one is collecting those.
So they're saying rare, rip. I'm guessing rip and run away.
rip and run away. I like that. Shred and run away.
Tuta, tear up and throw away. Maybe. Is there? So I saw this go by. Is there a holy grail for a postcard? So I collect tiki mugs, and I know what the holy grail tiki mug is. Yeah. Kim collects Enid Collins purses, and there is a holy grail purse. Is there a holy grail specific postcard?
There's so many, just because again you got the crossover to everything. Mm-hmm. They're I think the most expensive postcard over the last couple years was a rookie. I'm sorry, it was the team wherever Babe Ruth started. It was his first year. It was a team photo on a real photo postcard, and it was pre his rookie card coming out.
Wow.
And I believe that sold for $120,000.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
You're never going to find that. The place and I think the most collectible place, the one that you can get the most money for, Hong Kong cards, real photo postcards from Hong Kong's from the 50s, 40s, stuff like that. Those command hundreds to thousands of dollars. And street vendors, real photos of street vendors, popcorn wagons, meat wagons, stuff like that. Those are hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
Wow.
But there's just so much out there that's bolos. And again, that's in for your Secret Beach, I have like a top 10, actually I have the top 12, but top 12 postcards that just would bring in insane money. And there's some artist signed postcards that will bring in thousands and thousands of dollars.
Who knew? My goodness, this is great.
Yeah, I still get I'm just amazed. A couple of weeks ago I had one guy, maybe it was a month ago, I had one guy buy 66 Michigan postcards from me, and he sent me like $450 odd for these 66 postcards. And I went to my wife, I was like, who pays that? Who buys these postcards? And I've been doing this for almost 20 years. And every week I'm just amazed at what people are going to buy for these little pieces of paper that were meant to be thrown away.
And they're sparking memories and
Yeah.
emotion.
Yeah.
And funny enough, I think I haven't done my presentation for the Secret Beach this month, but I think I'm up to my Tiki Ephemera presentation. So I'm talking about things, oddly enough, this was not a plan, but both webinars this month are about things that were meant to be thrown away and not kept, and so that's crazy how it's just kind of working out. I'm going to ask 2 more questions from the audience, and then John's been gracious enough to give some fun stuff away. So don't hang up. Do not go away, because you might win some stuff here in 2 seconds. How do you tell if they are linen postcards?
Linen postcards are normally started in about the 1930s, and they actually go up to about the 1970s. But mostly when I think linen, it's 1930s to 1940s. And I do have some here in my stack. Here's one. When you touch it, it has like a texture to it. It's a rag content texture. That's about all I can say. It's linen.
Yeah, there's a feel to it.
It feels like a dollar bill. Some of the older ones are going to be more slick. The colors are going to be more vibrant on it. There's a way to date these. If you don't have a postage stamp or a cancel on it, there's a way you can date these. Pretty much on certain postcards, you can date down to a specific year.
Wow.
But it's mostly, you got to feel it, and it's just a rougher texture. And once you see and feel one linen postcard,
you can feel them and know.
Yeah, you're going to know exactly.
Someone watching says, "I have that postcard."
So it's right, keep them. This one or the
one of those two. But how weird! Of all the million of postcards behind you, someone's like, "Oh,
That's
I got
great.
that postcard."
Mexico.
All right, so here's the last question we're going to ask tonight, and then we're going to give some cool stuff away. Do you ever find that the stamps on the postcard are worth more than the postcard? Have you ever found that?
I'm not really a stamp guy, but there are stamp guys, and of course, postcards cross over to stamps. I've never found like what it is, upside down Lindy, the airplanes, or anything like that. But I have the back of the card can, yes, sometimes be more valuable than the scene on the front. And again, it's when you get stamps and postal markings from overseas, Hong Kong to America. Getting into postcards, you got to learn about some of the back. There's RPO for railroad post office. There's DPO for dead post office. So there are times that I have been able to pit at auction the stamp guy or a postal history guy against a postcard guy, and they go back and forth. So it really builds up the auction. But yeah, so yes, I have a stamp book just in case I do come across a stamp I'm not familiar with, but I don't really focus a whole bunch of time on the stamps themselves.
I said that was the last question, but this is a pretty funny one. Is there a difference between a collector and a hoarder?
I don't know if I'm a hoarder yet. My wife may beg to differ, but yeah, I keep it all confined here. But yeah, I think collectors, most postcard collectors, they're going to organize them. So yeah, collector organizes. They're going to have albums. They're going to have them categorized by topic, state, whatever. And then a hoarder is just going to have them thrown into boxes upon boxes, kind of like this.
All right, Kim. So John has a anchor store, and what do you get when you get an anchor store? Well, all stores, you get a level of free supplies. Guess what John doesn't need in selling postcards?
He doesn't need supplies like tape.
John's got a lot of tape that he said he just volunteered. He will send this tape to you, the viewers. If and I came up with an idea. Oh, no. So how many rolls you want to give away?
I can give away 36. I still have like 100.
Okay.
When you come to DC, I'll bring more, and you can give it away then too.
All right. So we'll do it in groups of.
And a roll of labels.
Labels.
Nice.
I don't need them.
All right.
About the only real supplies I use are the smaller bubble mailers. When I get a postcard that sells for more than $25, I'll do tracking with that, and I'll throw it in a bubble mailer. But normally I just ship in these these cardboard mailers with a stamp, and that's it.
All right, so I got 6 questions. You right? Ready, everyone?
And Jay, if you could get me the names and addresses.
Yeah, Debbie's gonna get them. Perfect. So here's the deal, and Mom, you cannot play because my mom will know every answer. Sorry, Mom. This is where being my co-host in my other show is gonna be exclude you, Ma. Everyone else can play. I'm gonna show you some postcards, ask you where they are or who they are, and the first person to answer. And let me tell you, the way you see your YouTube feed and the way I see it is always gonna be different. So I have to go by who I see first. That's just only fair. Okay, you ready? The first person to tell me where this postcard is, what this is a picture of, will win some rolls of tape. So Ginny said, tiki questions? Of course they're going to be tiki questions. What else would they be from me? This is a very specific location. And if you've been there, no, you got to be more specific. Yeah, people are saying Hawaii. That's great. I need way more specific. Jason's backyard. Nope, I have not seen the answer yet.
Close to your backyard.
Yep, I have not seen the answer yet. No, definitely not Disney World. Wow, no one knows where this is. Do you know where this is, Kim?
No. I don't.
My mom said she knows, so people are asking my mom to message them.
Yeah, I'll split the tape. Come on, Mom, send me a text.
Instead of Survivor. Wow, I mean, the guesses are close. The guesses are close.
Well, it's close. Close doesn't win, though.
No, close does not win. I'm really shocked that no one knows where this is. I mean, this is a very famous place in Hawaii. Nope, not Easter Island.
It's in Hawaii.
Yeah. People are guessing Rotohana, Seven Sacred Ponds.
No, bring it up closer. Let me see. Let me take a look.
Tahiti. Wow, I'm really.
Oh, it must be a Trader Vic's or something.
No. This is a very sacred place in Hawaii.
Oh, is it the Queen Kamehameha's or?
Nope.
Okay. Queen Leilani's burial place? No.
Google is going to crash.
I know. I'm Googling too.
I would give it to somebody who got close, but no one is actually close. No one has guessed.
Well, maybe we should just move on to the next postcard.
Shelly got it. I think that's the yeah.
She won the Google.
Yeah, she gave it the official name. It is the City of Refuge on the Big Island, and she gave it the Puhana. Oh yeah, so Shelly Robbins.
Yay,
Shelly Robbins wins the first
awesome.
round of tape.
Yay.
Please message Debbie Weeder or me, but Debbie's going to try and take care of this for me on Facebook, and you can find Debbie in the thrifting board, obviously. So that was a tricky one. Let's go a little easier. I'm going to go modern this time. You ready?
I'm not sure. I didn't do so well.
This is a postcard of a famous bar. So the first person in the chat that tells me what bar this postcard is from wins the next batch of eBay tape. Let's see. Okay, now I see the feed. It's up.
It's coming.
Bam. One Witch Lady, Frankie's. That is the Frankie's postcard. There's Vegas in the background.
Yay!
So, One Witch Lady, message Debbie, and you have won some tape. Okay. I'll give you a starting point because I don't want to make people be like lose their mind. Moss Isley. That's a funny guess. Sean, you win some tape for the funniest guess. Okay. Sean, message Debbie. You win tape too. Moss Isley was a funny guess. Okay, we are back in Hawaii. This is a very specific place, and they used an open. I don't know photography terms all that well, but they left it open for a long time because there's something very specific happening here at a very famous resort. So if you tell me the resort or what's happening, I'll tell you if you're right. This is a very famous, my mom's favorite, as she said. This resort was in a movie, a very famous movie. Yes, Chris, an Elvis movie, but you got to tell me what it's called. Kim, do you know?
No, I'm not doing so well on this one here.
Yes, it is an Elvis
It's clear
movie.
I'm not winning tape.
Slow
Okay.
shutter speed. Thank you very much. Yes. So this, I'll even tell you what's happening. Is the official lighting of the torches at a very famous, no, not the Hilton Hawaiian Village. Okay, so the movie is Blue Hawaii. So you guys nailed it. But what's the name of the resort from Blue Hawaii? That, I'll give you now a hint, was destroyed in Hurricane Iniki and is currently being rebuilt finally. Boom! Angela Ritchie, Cocoa Palms. There it is, the Cocoa Palms,
Yay.
where Elvis finished the movie Blue Hawaii. So, Angela, you have won some tape. All right, this one's going to go quick. Everyone ready?
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Who is this?
I have to make it bigger.
Who is this? So now I'm looking for a location. I'm looking for a person. Who this? King Kamehameha. Stephanie wins. Now, Brenda did say Kamea Burial Ground, but no, it's not the burial ground. This is like the Capitol building. So, Stephanie, message Debbie.
Yay.
All right. If you pay attention to me at all, you will know this is my favorite artist. Are you ready? Who is this artist?
Oh my gosh, I know who it is.
Who is
It
this?
would be the only one I know.
The first person to mention who this artist is wins some tape.
Can I answer?
You'll win your tape back. Do you really want it?
Okay, so Chris R had Shaft, so that was obviously a typo. And then Jane Boyd had Shag. So I'm going to give it to Chris R and Jane. All right.
That's good.
So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And I got stickers.
Yep. And we'll do one more. And
Okay, this is for the stickers, everyone.
Before we do one more, and pre-warning in case there's young eyes, boobies are coming up. Do you sell a lot of nudity, sir?
The older real photos from the 20s and 30s or earlier, there's some really graphic ones out there. And yeah, they can command some money.
Wow.
But would you sell, I mean, would these command a good price? Of course, I keep them all.
Those ones, those are actually pretty common. There are some graphic humor postcards that show nudity that will sell fairly well. But yeah, I would sell those.
All right, cool. All right, last one. So this is a tiki place that's been in business for 60 years. Is one of the all-time impressive Mac Daddy, can't be beat tiki places. I don't think it says it on here. Nope. Where is this? And this is the last one for the stickers. And I will give you a hint. It is not in Hawaii. Bam. Deb, Vintage Funkhauser, Mike High. She nails it.
Wow.
Got it quick. That was the quickest one.
That was fast.
All right, Deb. So all the winners, thank you very much for playing. But obviously, thank you, sir, for giving away your tape and your stickers. That is so nice of you.
So nice.
You're welcome. When you come to DC to do your class, I'll load up my truck and meet you all down there and get rid of it.
All right. Well, you have a free pass to the classes, sir. I appreciate that. That is very kind of you,
Thank
and
you.
I would like to return the favor. So
I can't wait to see your webinar in the Secret Beach. I'm so excited about postcards now.
yeah, this is going to be great. So, and we by the way, Secret Beachcombers, you have a date for this already. It is the 28th at 7:30 p.m. 7:30 p.m. Must be East Coast. Yes, I wrote 7:30 p.m. my time, but I would never do a webinar 10:30 East Coast. So 7:30 East Coast time, 4:30 West Coast time. So I will not have a nap that day.
Oh my gosh.
All right, so I want to thank our guest, John. You're the man, and I can't wait to do more stuff with you. I can't wait to meet you when I get to DC. Thank you for the knowledge that you freely give here tonight and in the thrifting board. Thank you for giving away your tape, and thank you for doing some Secret Beach webinars coming up. That is so awesome. Kim,
Mhm.
thank you for co-hosting the show tonight. That was
was
a
fun.
ton of fun. I want to have you back as a co-host. You were great.
Okay.
And then don't forget, next Wednesday is going to be Thrifty Business with Debbie, and we're working on our guest right now, so I don't have a guest to announce. But if you're new to the show, please do me a favor, hit thumbs up. If you didn't like what you see, let me know. Let me know so much. Give me a thumbs down twice, and I'll be sure to take note of that. And please subscribe. And we'll be back with Mom and me. We'll be back on Sunday, which is the 18th. At 3 p.m. on the East Coast, noon on the West Coast, how to start a meetup group. And Mom will be back with her scores, her haul, and there'll be an embarrassing photo of me as a teenager. I'm sure of it. So,
Yay.
so thank you, everyone. Thank you,
Thank you.
Debbie, for producing and for helping out in the chat. And thank you, everyone, for watching live. And thanks, everyone who watches after the fact. Have a good evening, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.